And good morning. This is Marshall Pitts.
Module Pitts.
And Myron Pitts.
And we are
MP3.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to Marshall, Myron, and Myron, your trio of talk radio. Hope everybody's doing well out there. Good morning, guys.
We're going to talk about how sharp Myron looks today.
Yeah. That's a little purple, a little bit over the top.
I don't think so.
But nice suit and everything, nice shoes and...
A lot of guys are wearing adventurous colors.
That's right,
nowadays.
man. East Carolina
Which is
Pirates.
unusual for him.
Yeah, East Carolina. This is dark purple, but that's East Carolina Pirates. You know
That's right. Pirates,
even with the pirate pen.
Yeah. Nice.
What do you have going on today? Why are you so dressed up?
You got the Chief Court Counselor, Matt Dempson. Congratulations to him. He's been sworn in this afternoon at 1 o'clock.
Okay.
So I'm going to say a few words, give his bio and all that kind of stuff. And
that was your old gig, right?
Yeah, my old gig down at the courthouse. Mm-hmm. And, he and I shared an office together, as a matter of fact.
When you first came in.
We shared an office. So if the walls in that office could talk, he nor I would have ever got promoted. Neither one of us would have ever got promoted. We did all kind of gambling, all kind of stuff going on in the office back in those days.
Was he kind of like
it was a little different. Back in the day, you could smoke in the building too.
Yeah, when I first started newspapers,
you could smoke inside.
Smoke in the building.
So he's
kind of a mentee of yours. You kind of
I like to look at it that way. I don't think he would look at it that way.
You know how coaches have a coaching tree, like their assistant goes on to be a coach. So he's part of your coaching tree. So.
And I think he's going to do a good job. Congratulations to him and his family.
Good guy overall.
Oh yeah. Nice
solid,
guy.
Solid individual, as they say. All right, congratulations to him. Man.
Congratulations, man. What do we have on tap today, Myron?
Got a little bit of Super Bowl. It's that weekend. Super Bowl Sunday is Sunday. First story is about Tom Brady, the winningest Super Bowl quarterback. Well, he played for the New England Patriots, who are back in the Super Bowl.
Right.
But to the surprise of many of the Patriots players, former players and current players probably, and fans, he's neutral on who wins the game. So he says he didn't have a dog in it. I love that. So that kind of caused some eyebrows to raise. We're also going to talk about the three people. I've heard it was 4, but our story has 3 who have been to every Super Bowl.
60 of them.
We are up to
This will be
Super
number
Bowl
60.
60 now. So they are going
incredible.
to this one. This could be their last one, but we'll talk a little bit about that. And we're going to talk about the kind of an ugly incident involving 2 HBCUs. Morehouse and Tuskegee,
and unnecessary.
The video you probably have all seen is Tuskegee University's head men's basketball coach being carried off the court in cuffs. So we're going to talk about how that happened.
I haven't seen the video. I knew what happened.
It's not a great video.
It was unnecessary.
It's not a good look for either school, but we'll talk about that. I agree with MP2. It's unnecessary. Then lastly, an interesting and quite important story as well. Black enrollment is down at the Ivy League schools and the other elite institutions, but it is up at some of the state schools.
State flagship
This is a direct result, it is believed, from the changes in affirmative action in terms of these schools accepting non-white students. So we'll talk about all those aspects. So,
all right.
So mind you, this situation with Tom Brady, he's won how many Super Bowls?
Brady won 7.
7 total, 6 with the Patriots.
6 with the Patriots, 1 with Tampa.
Wait. How many times did he won 7? Are you
total?
Sure?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because he won 6 with the
That's
Patriots.
why I'm a sports guy. I'm positive.
He went down there and won.
7 in all.
Yeah.
The GOAT.
But he made waves, as our story points out, earlier this week when he was asked about Super Bowl 60. The Patriots are playing the Seattle Seahawks, and he says, quote, he didn't have a dog in the fight. It seems like he does have a dog in the fight, but he said he didn't. And a lot of people point out it's a far cry from when he was inducted into the Patriots Hall of Fame a couple years ago, and he opened it with "I am Tom Brady and I am a Patriot." So
even though he won the Super Bowl with another team, he considered himself a Patriot.
And I think most people would consider himself a Patriot, consider him a Patriot. But anyway,
well, maybe not so much now.
Nope. No more word from him. They did talk to some of his former teammates. Vince Wilfork didn't like what he heard from Brady. He said, "That's bull, you know what?" He put CRAP. Tom, who won 2 Super Bowls with Brady, all that political whatever. This ain't political. It ain't political. What it is. Raiders ain't in it. Now the Raiders are what Brady's current
Part
team.
owner.
He's a part owner of the
Right.
Raiders. Say what it is, what you see. So he's saying, look, I understand that you're with the Raiders now, with their front office, but you can still rep the Patriots in this matter. I kind of agree with Mr. Wilford.
Well,
on
I
that.
don't.
How
Again,
did
I
he
don't.
end up with the Raiders? How did he end up with the Raiders?
I don't know.
Maybe no one else would have him.
Yeah.
So now, I mean, he went from a very terrific organization to a bad organization.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but what I would say though is that I don't know. I don't know if there's some lingering effects because the Patriots did let Brady go.
That's right.
So I don't know if it was a contract dispute there at the end. I don't know if he's still a little salty about something like that. He's also an announcer. So, and then he's also already caught some flack this year because they said he shouldn't be announcing games against guys, his teams he's going to have to play. And his team, the Raiders, are going to have to play. Of course, the Raiders didn't beat anybody, so it didn't really.
That's right.
Didn't
We'll
really
worry
have-
about that
they're a
when
very
the
bad
Raiders
football
actually
team
start
right
winning
now.
games, right.
So they start winning games, we'll
Yeah.
worry about that. That's exactly right. So, but I just, I don't know. Tom, his message was cryptic about him not having a dog in the fight. Of course, he had a dog in the fight. That would be like Jordan says he doesn't care if the Bulls win the.
Could you see Jordan saying
I
that?
can never see him saying
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And Jordan would never. Listen, he might not say nothing, but he's not going to say that.
Right.
He's not going to say, "I don't care if the Bulls win the championship or not."
Yeah.
He wouldn't say that. So it would be difficult for me to see, someone who played and gave his heart and soul to a team say he doesn't care. Now, the only caveat I would say to that is that he might be thinking along the lines of, I'm the only one that can win Super Bowls down there.
Right.
It might be some type of jealousy, some type. He is the greatest quarterback that's ever played a game. So, Super Bowl wise and otherwise, people say, well, we can debate that. No, it's not really a debate.
Yeah, not anymore.
Not quarterback.
Yeah.
Not from the
Right.
quarterback position.
Right.
Not really a
Right.
debate. You win 7 Super Bowls, that makes you the best.
Yeah.
So, but I just think that might be some jealousy there or something like
Yeah.
that because a few years after he's gone. Brady hasn't been gone that long now.
Yeah.
A few years after he's gone, they're back in the Super Bowl, and
Yeah.
people are saying that Drake May is going to be as good, if not better, than Brady down the road.
UNC guy.
UNC.
So Rob
And,
Gronkowski.
let
Go
me
ahead,
get on board
Yeah.
by saying that's not going to happen.
We'll see. We'll see.
It's not going to happen. He's not going to
Remember,
be good.
Brady himself was drafted 6th round.
Yeah,
Look what
he
happened.
was under.
Right, so a lot
Nobody
of
would
people
have
would have
thought he
said
would
that
have done.
about him. He would never
Right.
be the greatest quarterback.
Let's let him win one first.
Let's see.
Before we start
That's-
talking about how about let's let Drake May win one.
Let's
Then
see.
we'll talk about what
But even if they don't win, the Patriots have really had a dramatic turnaround. I mean, how many games did they win last season? Like 4 or something?
4 or 5.
Yeah. So one of Brady's best friends with the Patriots, Rob Gronkowski, we've seen him on a series of bad commercials, who said he had no problem supporting his former team. That was Gronkowski was the tight end who was Brady's favorite
Right.
target.
Right.
He suggested that Brady not supporting the Patriots is an indication of Brady's desire to still be out there playing. Quote, Tom probably wants to be the quarterback. That's what Gronkowski said. He meant in this Super Bowl. He's that competitive. He probably wants to be the guy in the Super Bowl right now. Now, that to me kind of gets to what you were saying. He sees Drake May out there getting all the acclaim.
And also, he didn't leave on the best terms with the Patriots. So,
Yeah.
So it's funny how that is in life. You can have when there's a breakup, even if there were a lot of good years, whatever. People tend to just focus on what the breakup was about,
Yeah, that's right.
and they, that's what they talk about.
It's a relationship. And a
Okay.
relationship breaks up painfully, whether it's a marriage or whether you're playing with a team or you're leaving a company under bad terms. It is easy to focus
So
on
now,
those.
Right.
and then people
That
and then
negativity.
people start forgetting. So now, let me say to Vince Wilfork and to Gronkowski, Tom Brady won 6 Super Bowls with the Patriots. He's allowed to say whatever he wants to say.
No, I think we all agree with that.
if,
I get more disappointed.
If he says, you know what, I hate the Patriots. Hope they don't ever win another Super Bowl. They've won 6. He should
Yeah.
be cheered every time his name even comes up. He's earned that right to say those type
Yeah,
of things.
certainly.
It's something that we do not know about, though. Certainly, it doesn't have anything to do with him not having a dog in the fight.
Yeah, now
he
Will
definitely
Fork
has
said,
a dog in this fight.
Will Fork said another comment which stuck out to me. He says of Brady, he's speaking to Brady through the media, if you don't think we're going to win, just pick Seattle then. Don't straddle the fence. So he seems to be suggesting that maybe Brady doesn't want to get out there on behalf of the Patriots because he thinks his old team may lose. And Seattle, it should be said, are, I'm pretty sure, pretty heavy favorites in this
Not
game.
heavy.
No.
Favorites.
They're favorites.
Favorites.
They are favorites.
Because
It
of the
should
defense.
be a good Super Bowl, but every time you say that, it turns up being a blowout.
It's one thing about this Super Bowl, though. It's the only thing about it. And this Super Bowl doesn't have any star power.
No.
I could ask the average football, not the average football fan.
I would say
The
not
average fan, they can't name anybody on either team.
I'd say
Either
not
team.
even any star teams, but they were Patriots were 4 wins last year, and then you have the other guys, Seattle. They were decent last year, but
not like this.
Yeah, not like this. So it's just people like
But a star player, if they had a star like a Brady, then of course that's going to up your viewership
That's
and
right.
everything else. If they had, even if Seattle had like a what's his name, Russell Wilson, someone that everyone kind of knew.
Yeah.
Those type of things. But if you ask a fan who's going to watch the game, who just doesn't watch football, every week, and
Yeah.
like we do, but he or she would probably say, I don't know anybody on either team,
Yeah.
coaches, players.
Yeah.
I don't know
I would
anybody.
say-
And then when
on
you bring
anything.
stars into the mix, 2 things happen. You have the swirl of the people who love them and the swirl of the people who can't stand them.
Right.
So it creates that energy both ways.
And that's what Patrick Mahomes brought. That's what Brady brought to the league. That's what those guys brought.
Jordan, LeBron, all
you
those
either
guys.
love them or you hate them.
Yeah.
So
Well, I think partly this is the triumph of the NFL's strategy of trying to create parity with the salary cap and other measures.
so now is that-
any team can come up from nowhere?
Right. So is
and
that in
that
your
makes
mind?
every city excited about their team's prospects at the start of the season, but then it can yield 2 teams like this that no one knows anything about.
So now, do you think that's parity or is that mediocrity?
That's one of the debates.
They're not
That
being
really is one
they're
of the
not
debates.
being a dominant team.
Yeah.
Because the wealth of the players is spread
Yeah.
out amongst the teams and
Well,
those
let's
type of
just
things.
start out. We did have a dominant team. Kansas City was dominating.
That's
that
true.
part.
That's true.
That was just recently, so we can't say that there's.
I'm not saying that. I'm talking about just this year per
Okay.
se. I'm talking about this year. Do we really think that the Patriots are going to make a run? They're going to be in the Super Bowl next 2, 3, 4, 5 years.
See, I don't know.
I
That's,
do know.
No, you don't.
I do know.
and I certainly think Seattle's going to be in the mix for a while because I think now if they keep their current coach. Now if he goes, I'm not sure. But they say this coach is
Okay.
like some kind of football genius.
Yeah,
or
that's what
something.
they say about every coach who makes the Super Bowl. They always say that. He's a
Right.
genius until he's not. They're always a genius until they're not a genius anymore. What I'm going to tell you right now, and we're going to be sitting here next year, hopefully, and I'm going to say the same. I'm going to remind you guys of this. Neither one of these teams make it back to the Super Bowl next year. You watch and see what I think.
I'm not as confidently going to say that.
I'm confident. I'm very
All right.
confident in that. Neither one
Because
of
aren't
these
they
teams.
both relatively young teams too?
That doesn't have anything to do with. People always say, "Well, they're a young
Yeah.
team. They're going to
It
be
takes
back."
a core
It takes a lot of moving parts to work,
A lot of things
intertwined
have
to
to
work
happen.
together for it to
Including
make it back to the
injuries.
Super
You know,
Bowl.
you
I'm
gotta
gonna give
say
you. I'm
they're
gonna give you one. I'm
relatively
gonna give you one
injury-free.
name. Dan Marino made the Super Bowl. I want to say it's his rookie season or his sophomore season.
And never got
went back.
Yep.
Never got back, and it always is hailed as one of the greatest quarterbacks ever played the game. Still,
Right.
Yeah.
but never got back to the Super Bowl. It's
Right.
hard to make it back.
It
you
is,
have to
or
have
make
that.
it.
It's hard to make it.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. I mean, you have to have that something in your team that's going to battle through
Little bit of
injuries
extra.
year after year. That extra something. And what I'm saying is, we'll see. What,
You know,
Well, this
and
is
people always they have the mistake, particularly when you're young, of not appreciating the moment that you're in, whether it be with sports or anything.
That's true.
Right? When
That's true, yeah.
we have a milestone or a significant achievement, and then younger people tend to think, well, this will always be like this, or I'll be back next year, or
Yeah.
that kind of thing. And you're not giving the true appreciation that moment needs,
That's right.
because this may never happen again.
That's right.
You got to
And-
take full advantage right now at this moment in your life and make the
and
most
it's
of
so
it.
much that way with football and some other sports too, but particularly football because injury is such a big deal with football. You look at what happened to other teams like the Baltimore Ravens. Lamar Jackson was hurt all year long.
Yep.
I mean, you can have an injury, and that could be it for your football team, to your quarterback.
That's right.
And that could be it for your team for that season. So, I mean, you really should appreciate,
That's right.
in the moment, whether you win it or not. You should really be in the moment when it comes, because there's no telling when you get back to the Super Bowl.
Now, lastly, about these two teams, they played before, right? Was this the one where
what was the guy's name?
the Beast, where they had him in the
Marshawn Lynch.
Beast Mode.
Yeah. They had him. They were on the 1 yard line. All they had to do was give it to
one of the most dominant running back in the league that year,
and a fullback and huge.
And
just
big.
give it to him. Boom.
Beast mode time.
And they tried to throw it. What happened? Interception.
Yeah, it was interception.
Yeah, at the 1 yard line.
At the 1 yard line.
So
Russell Wilson threw that interception.
Yeah.
It's not even about Russell. That shouldn't have been the call,
why would he
though.
be even throwing the ball?
Right.
Well, as a quarterback, see what I would do in that particular
Just
situation.
call an auto.
Just call
Give it to the
coach,
Beast.
Coach must be sleep over there.
Pete Carroll is the
Don't
coach.
worry, Pete. Marshall, I'm gonna give it to you. Don't worry about what Pete talking about.
That was such an odd call. I remember us talking about it on MP3 because Marshawn, I think, kind of thought they just wanted to give someone else the
credit,
shine of
the credit,
Credit,
yeah.
right?
There were all kind of conspiracy theories. Some
Yeah.
people were saying Pete Carroll threw the game. that it was some gambling and all that kind of stuff going on because it was such a dumb call.
Right. Who does that? I mean, who does that? It
Yeah.
didn't make any sense.
A dumb call from
Yeah.
a very
A very
brilliant
good
coach. Right, that's exactly right. We didn't
They
talk about
also
this.
talked about how brilliant he was.
Maybe
Carroll.
they wanted the Patriots to win that one. Who knows?
So I
It
would
was a
say
bad
Seattle's
call.
coach, if you're on the one with the game on the line, just run the ball.
Right.
So let's talk about these guys that's been to all 60 Super Bowls. Their names are Don Chrisman of Maine. I like how they come from different places. Gregory Eaton of Michigan and Tom Henschel of Florida. They'll be back for another big game this year. This story comes to us from the Associated Press. Two of them are grappling with the fact, according to the AP, that advancing years are getting older and decreasing mobility mean that this is probably the last time. And so they'll be out there. The game, by the way, kicks off at 6:30 p.m. Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara, California. Don't know what the weather's going to be like, but I'm thinking sunny-ish. Chrisman, who we mentioned, that's the dude from Maine. He says he's been a Patriots fan since the franchise started. So he's very excited to see his team in the game for a record-setting 12th time. That's hard to remember.
12
There was
Wow.
another era of Patriots that kept making the Super Bowl but couldn't win it.
Couldn't win it.
Right. So it's easy to focus on the wins, but they made it 12 times, more than any other team.
Right,
So,
right.
Now, he said, the story said some of the guys may not be back. Crispin said this will definitely be the final one for him. He made the trip with his daughter, Susan Matevier, and like he says, quote, "We made it to 60." So he turns 90 this year. The other gentleman Henschel turns 84, and he's been, they say, slowed by a stroke. And the other gentleman, Eaton, he's 86. He says he plans to keep going as long as he's still physically able.
That's the one from Detroit.
That's one for, yep, sure is.
Yeah, he's still working. That guy's still working. No, he is. He's not retired yet. He's still working.
So he ain't retired from nothing right now.
Yeah, so
Going
he
to
rolling
Super
all the
Bowl.
way.
Yeah, Eaton, he runs a ground transportation company in Detroit. He's the only member of the group not retired. He says let's see how long he's going to be waiting for this, MP2. He'd still like to finally see his beloved Detroit Lions make it to a Super Bowl. How long you got to wait for that?
Well,
If he lives to be 120, he might get it. Because Detroit's window might have passed over the last couple of
They
years.
had a window, too. They had some really good teams there.
Right. All right, we have a call on the line. Caller, are you there?
Yes, sir, dear brothers. I'm always
Hey, good morning, Brother Tony.
Brother Tony, what's going on
Good
with
to
you?
hear from you.
great to hear from you all, too. However, I'd like to rewind a little bit. Brother Mayer was talking about the moment. You need to seize the moment because you never know when it is that you may or may not be able to get back there. I remember when I was coaching track and field and I moved up to the PG County area where it is that track and field is nearly like football in Cumberland County. And what it is that my young ladies, I would tell them is that same thing. we have to seize the moment because we don't know whether it is that we may not get back here again. And that started us on a journey to where it is that they were named Hershey's National All-Americans 3 years in a row.
Right.
And it was all simply because, you have to seize the moment.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of individuals who do not know the hard work and effort and dedication that goes into putting that finished product out there that you would see on a Friday night at a Cumberland County football game or a Friday night Cumberland County basketball game, everything that has gone into it prior to that product being put out there, then they're really becoming somewhat disillusioned and delusional because these athletes, whether it is at their high school, whether they're collegiate, or whether they're professional athletes, they really, really, really put a lot of effort in study and really beating up their bodies.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
Right.
In order to make it, that one shining moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that, we have to be a little bit more sympathetic to these athletes who put it all on the line just for us to see this entertainment that goes on. But to be perfectly honest, MP2, I'm not going to watch professional football. I fell out of love with professional football whenever it is that the Dallas Cowboys allowed corporate America to get in to producing stadiums and whatnot. And so,
right.
It's just going to be a Carolina and Duke basketball game, and then that's all.
That's right. That's tomorrow. Yeah.
All right, Brother Tony.
right.
Thank you so
Brother,
much.
you all
Good to hear from you.
Great to hear from you, and even though I may not call in, like I've always tell Brother Mayor, I'm always listening. I'm on my. I fix my school schedule to where it is that my break is from 10:30 to 1 o'clock. And I'm always listening to you guys. If I'm not jotting down some things for a meeting or whatnot, I'm always listening to my brothers. And I continue to always say this is the best program that WIDU has. MP3.
Appreciate it, Brother Tony. Thank you so much.
You
Good
for
to
the
hear from
support
you,
over
man.
the years.
Good to hear from you.
Always.
Yeah.
All right, Brother Tony there. He will not be watching the game. He did mention that Duke, Carolina is tomorrow, Saturday. So a lot of folks, including myself, and I know you, MP2, will be tuned into that.
But one thing about
Did
it,
you hear the music? You know what the
one
music
thing
means.
about
See,
it,
you always
let's wrap up
you're
this
talking
time.
on the music.
will you
It's break time.
will you allow
Notice I was
if
talking
Hubert
during the
wins?
music too.
If Hubert wins, you gonna give him a break?
What?
If he beats Duke.
Oh, if Hubert wins? Oh, yeah, you get a break.
He had to hesitate.
All right, we're going to break. We'll be right back with MP3.
This is Apostle Bernard L. Whitfield Jr., and you're listening to Wake Up.
Governor Josh Stein is taking actions he says will help keep North Carolinians safe by strengthening the behavioral health and criminal justice systems. We're hearing more from the Nash County Sheriff after a man died early Thursday in a confrontation with deputies. At the press conference, Sheriff Keith Stone said that the deputies had responded to Chris Erb's home on multiple occasions and that Erb had a history of mental illness issues before the shooting. Law enforcement officials in Tucson, Arizona say they believe Nancy Guthrie is still out there 5 days after her family reported her missing. The North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services reports flu cases are rising in the state. Flu deaths have reached 236 this season. Bullhead Island Transportation has provided an update on removal operations for a ferry that ran aground on Thursday morning. Curtain lifts on the Winter Olympics tonight. Mike Rayleigh, NCN News.
I am thrilled to share the honor of receiving an endorsement from the Union Food and Commercial Workers and the North Carolina State AFL-CIO. Let us reflect on the powerful words of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. The time is always right to do what is right. I am Charles Evans, your dedicated candidate for County Commissioner at Large. Together, we can carry this essential work forward on your behalf. For bold and intentional leadership, vote Charles Evans for County Commissioner at Large. Paid for by the committee to elect Charles Evans.
I'm Jamie Monticelli, WIDU Radio News. The Cumberland County Sheriff's Office is proud to recognize and congratulate the graduates of Basic Law Enforcement Training Class 7. The individuals have demonstrated dedication, perseverance, and a strong commitment to serving and protecting their communities. Graduating from BLET represents over 900 hours of training, physical and mental challenges, and determination to uphold the highest standards of law enforcement. They commend each graduate for reaching that significant milestone and answering the call to public service. Cumberland County, in partnership with the City of Fayetteville government and community partners, will open white flag shelters and designated warming centers through February 8th in response to expected below freezing temps. You can find a list on the county's Facebook page. Cumberland County Schools says, do you want to help connect families and schools while making a positive impact on students' lives? Join the Family Ambassador Program. Receive training and support, build strong school-family partnerships, and represent your school community. From WIDU.
Hey, you looking for your next car? Start at Bryan Honda, 4104 Rayford Road in Fayetteville. At Bryan Honda, we make buying a car simple, stress-free, and affordable. Whether you're searching for a brand new Honda or a quality pre-owned vehicle, we've got a huge selection to fit every lifestyle and every budget. From fuel-efficient Civics and Accords to family-friendly CRVs and Pilots, Bryan Honda has the perfect vehicle waiting for you, and with our friendly, knowledgeable sales team, you'll never feel pressured. Need financing? No problem. Bryan Honda works with multiple lenders to get you approved fast with competitive rates that make sense for you. Plus, our certified service department is here long after the sale, keeping your Honda running strong for years to come. Drive smarter, drive happier, and drive home today from Bryan Honda, 4104 Rayford Road in Fayetteville, or you can visit online, bryanhonda.com. Your road starts here. Nobody beats a Bryan Honda deal. Not now, not ever.
Good Friday morning. We start your day with partly cloudy skies and temperatures cold in the mid-20s. Mostly sunny for the first part of the day. Then more cloud cover by the afternoon with highs reaching the upper 40s and low 50s. A chance for rain by this evening. Then it will be colder and windier overnight with mostly clear skies. Temperatures dropping to around 30 degrees. Still quite windy on Saturday with sunny skies. Highs reach the mid-30s to around 40. For the North Carolina News Network, I'm meteorologist Grant Skinner in the Weather Center.
Now, all across North Carolina, it's Carolina Newsmakers. Each week, leaders from politics, education, business, and the arts join Don Curtis to share insights and ideas shaping our state. Hear interviews that go beyond the headlines with guests who know North Carolina best. Listen on the radio stations throughout North Carolina and on demand at carolinanewsmakers.com.
And we are back with Marshall Pitts.
Module Pitts.
And Myron Pitts.
And we are
MP3.
For those just tuning in, we just wrapped up a section regarding the Super Bowl and a very kind of heart-touching story about three gentlemen who this will be their 60th year of attending the Super Bowl. They've been to all the Super Bowls that have ever been.
And I mentioned at the top, there is one other, there's
the photographer.
There's a fourth person, and that's a photographer, John Bevier, and he is shooting his 60th Super Bowl. He believes it's going to be his last as well. So
right.
All right.
And he started out when he was like 14. As a scribe of his dad. Under the tutelage of his dad. Excuse me.
All right.
So let's go on to the next subject.
So the Morehouse Tuskegee basketball game. They played. I want to say. Who won the game? I don't even know who won the game. All the drama after the game, but it led to the coach of Tuskegee being led off the court in cuffs. He was never charged, but there was kind of some post-game scuffling or potential scuffling.
What happened was
the football players. Go ahead, Mike.
The football players from the winning team, which was. Morehouse,
okay. Yeah.
Got
Morehouse
into the handshake line.
Mm-hmm.
You know how you basketball, they line up and
right. So that shouldn't have happened.
No, that shouldn't have happened.
They got into the handshake line.
How'd they?
They just fell in line behind them. I guess they were at the game and they fell in line behind them. I don't know if it was planned or orchestrated or whatever.
Yeah.
And the coach felt that this might be a cause for, because the handshake line, you got to go down the line shaking hands.
Right.
So this might be, I don't know how many football players were in the line. So
Yeah.
he felt this might be a cause. This might be a cause for concern. He brought that to the attention of the police officers.
Right.
And he was saying that they
The
didn't.
Tuskegee coach.
The Tuskegee coach, the
Right.
one who got arrested.
Right.
No, he didn't get arrested.
He didn't get arrested.
The
just
one who got handcuffed.
Right.
He brought it to the attention of the police officers that were at the game. And I don't know what the exchange was between those two. But whatever it was, the police officers decided he was going to handcuff the man and lead him away. So it didn't look like there was. It really didn't even look like there was some type of verbal assault or anything. The coach didn't even look mad.
So the person that made the complaint was the one that they cuffed and walked away.
Yeah, that's why and I've said it all along. Something really got to be bad for me to call the police at the Pitts household.
Yeah.
Something really got to go wrong because they'll show up and arrest the wrong guy.
Right.
So and so he's the one that's doing the complaining. He's the one that's worried about the safety concerns, and he was the one that got handcuffed.
Yes, Coach Benji Taylor. So he has retained counsel Harry Daniels, who's a leading civil rights attorney, and is going to pursue a lawsuit over his treatment.
So
now,
what happened after the cuffing though? After he was, did they initially handcuff him, or did some scuffle take place?
No scuffle.
No scuffle.
I didn't see no scuffle on the video at all. That was the issue. That was the issue, and definitely wasn't no scuffle with the coach.
Yeah.
The coach was talking. He's the one that talked to the police officer. And from the video, of course, you can't hear what they're saying.
Right.
Yeah.
But from the video, it just looked like he's trying to let him know that these guys shouldn't be in the handshake line, and this might cause a problem.
Yeah.
His team had already lost.
Right.
And so these guys are getting them maybe to taunt them or tease them or whatever. So, and they're in the handshake line. He's trying to let them know it's a problem. And somehow that went to, now I don't know whether he cursed at the police officers. I don't know. But somehow that led to him being handcuffed and led away.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Never charged of the crime.
And then on top of that, he was never charged with the crime.
Yeah.
It wasn't he wasn't charged with what the police officers know. Resist,
delay, and obstruct.
Resist, delay, and obstruct, or anything like that. He wasn't charged with any kind of threats. I guess they later on just took the handcuffs off him and told him to go on his way.
Now the league, the SIAC, they Southern Intercollegiate Athletic Conference, they did fine Morehouse an undisclosed amount. I don't know why that had to be undisclosed, but it was undisclosed. And
that was the home team.
Right.
That was the team whose officers arrested the guy,
right? I think it's very appropriate to find them. I don't know why it had to be undisclosed.
Right.
Now, Morehouse leadership took a little bit to talk about this incident, so a lot of people was like, "Are you not going to say anything about it?" So they did release a statement, and a lot of the statement was pushback to the investigation that led to the fine. They felt it wasn't conducted by standards they agree with or that follows the league's protocol. So there was a lot of talk about that.
Was there anywhere
instead of saying, we regret this unfortunate incident, we things should have probably been handled a little bit differently. We're looking into the matter and we wish the best for Coach whomever, blah, blah,
well,
blah.
this is
that's somebody who's been in politics a long time. Did you hear that response? Did you read that off of something? He came with that right off the top of the dome. Right? Comes natural. But that's exactly what they should have said. They try to make this die down.
Yeah, so the Morehouse president said, explaining why it took a little bit, to fully understand what took place, Morehouse did not rush to issue public commentary, but rather collected information for broader context, including video footage and interviews with witnesses. Many public accounts have not fully and accurately captured the context of what occurred, and in some cases have mischaracterized our students and the institution. Bowman, who was at the game, this Bowman's the president of Morehouse,
right.
He says he did not observe conduct that was clearly outside of what is commonly seen at competitive collegiate athletic events, specifically at the conclusion of a winning home game when fellow Morehouse students were congratulating the Morehouse basketball players. And he said after the incident, he said the college did issue an apology to Coach Benji Taylor with Tuskegee, quote, as the detainment did not reflect the desires that we have for Morehouse. Finally, he wrote, Morehouse staff quickly connected with Tuskegee and the SIAC leadership to collaborate on a path forward in goodwill. Since then, the incident involving the officer and Coach Taylor has become an active legal matter. That was the suit we referred to earlier, limiting further comments. So, what do we think of that statement?
A long statement that
way too long.
That says nothing.
Right.
So what you do in a situation like that?
Relevant.
Yeah. What you do in a situation like that? First of all, you give the regret that this incident happened.
Right.
You get, like Marshall just said.
Yeah.
You give that right then, because no matter who's at fault, you regret that.
There's
you
no
regret
reason he should have been cuffed.
regret
Right.
that it happened.
Right.
And then you launch into this thing about the investigation and all that type of stuff, and you worried about the investigation. You worried about them coming back and seeing. What we do know is that the man from the video, the man was not violent.
Mm-hmm.
He was not physical. He was not shoving anyone. And last I think, I mean, you can say something to a police officer without being arrested, right?
Yeah.
I don't know about that these days.
Legally, you can.
No, I'm
right?
talking
The
legal.
officer doesn't have to respect.
okay,
He's talking about
okay.
the law. Right?
Look at all these black folks in here, these naysayers.
Yeah.
Yes, you can say something.
The law is still
You can say
correct,
something.
no matter
Yeah,
how
you can say
poorly
something.
it's enforced.
Right, you can say something legally. I guess I should have put that in. You can
Yeah.
say something legally without being arrested.
Right.
You can call a police officer a name.
Yeah.
We've all heard that.
No,
right?
but see, you're saying it wrong.
Legally.
I said no. You're saying you can say something legally and not be arrested. No, you can say something legally and still get arrested. You can.
Of course,
It's
right.
all the time. It happens.
But you still have the legal right.
Yeah, you sure. Now I agree with that part.
Right.
Right. So that's what happened to him. That's what happened
Hey,
to
he
him.
wasn't even arrested.
That's what happened to him. He said something legally
Yeah.
and still got arrested.
And
Exactly what happened to
there's a
him.
broader context here, because as I think, and there's no reason to think that people at a HBCU should be a little more grounded in our history than people who don't attend a HBCU. But you still kind of have that expectation, whether it's a fair expectation or not. There is such a long history of over-policing of our community,
Yes.
shaming folks, putting them in cuffs, embarrassing them, and the arresting officer was black, or the guy who you should know better than to go overboard in a situation like that. Put cuffs on an opposing team sports coach and parade him off the court.
Right.
Knowing all the cell phones are going to be there, everyone, that's just a terrible look, and it's completely unnecessary. It's what you would expect, like,
Somewhere else.
right, by someone else. so that's what really kind of stuck out to me. I was like, two HBCUs, and then they doing the same kind of over policing, or one HBCU that you would see out on the street somewhere.
Right.
It shouldn't happen anywhere, but least of all here. And I think that's one reason I did not like the Morehouse statement, because it didn't really address. I don't expect it to get into all the details of that, because it's a legal situation. But I felt something more than that little sentence should have been said about. There should have been more regret that it went down the way it did.
Right.
And I don't know if the officer has been. I don't know if he was a police officer. I think he was police, not security. I think he's police. I don't know if that person has been disciplined, but at the minimum, they need some training. Because I think whatever happened between the football players joining the line, all these other things, I'm not saying those aren't important, but they aren't as important as that broader context of dragging away. A sports coach is a leader, dragging away a black leader in cuffs in front of everybody.
Right.
That shouldn't have happened.
Right. Exactly. That didn't exhibit any type of violent or
Right.
aggressive behavior.
Oh yeah, I mean, if he was a threat, that's a totally different story.
Right.
So we'll see how that all plays out.
I'd be very interested to know what was said between the coach and the
Me
police
too.
officer.
Me too.
That would lead to that.
Nothing.
Nothing that would justify that.
No.
Morehouse is going to sell this.
wasn't
That's what I suspect is going to happen. They'll wind up settling the
It wasn't
case.
nothing. Man, can you see what's going on and get them people out the line? Do your job. Something like that. That's all they were saying. This is the football. He not going. Basketball coach. He not going in and cursing the officer out.
Right.
He not. He got his players right there. He probably knows this on video. He's probably saying they shouldn't be in the line. Man, do your job. Get these people out of the line. This gonna cause an incident.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Who are you to tell me my job? And then off you go.
Yeah. And then
off you go.
Yeah. And I guess the other thing I didn't care for about the statement is that the president of Morehouse kind of positioned the whole thing as, this is common. This is what happens after games. That's not common.
No.
It's not common for just random students to show up with football.
You're not.
Join
That's
the
not,
handshake line. I've never seen that.
It's not.
All right.
And that's one of the more, I think, bonding moments of athletics when you see, whether it be basketball or soccer, whatever. I always like when the kids walk down
Love
the
that,
line.
right. You teach it. You coach it to them.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. The line walk. I like that. It's always like that about sports.
And even in professional sports, after games, they go over and shake each other's hand, give each other hugs and all that other kind
Because
of
a lot
stuff.
of them knew each other. They played in the same college.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, they don't. So when someone is violent, listen, you just wouldn't have a team coming out and jumping in the line, whether it be a football team or whether it be students.
Right.
Again, the coach was simply saying, in my mind, that these guys shouldn't be in the line. They might be trying to cause trouble, so forth and so on. Whatever he was saying, whether he was right or wrong, that did not, in my mind, again, I don't know what he said, but in my mind, that does not anticipate him getting handcuffs placed on him.
Yeah, and I could actually see his concern because football players coming down, getting in the line. You're like, what's going on here?
There's gonna be some cheering.
There's gonna be some taunting and stuff going on like that. Well, yeah. You just got smacked down and all that kind of stuff, and all that. So
get out of our gym.
We'll see how it resolves.
Kid stuff.
Our last story also comes to us from higher education. Black and Hispanic student enrollment has dropped at many of the nation's most selective colleges, the Ivy Leagues and the Ivy League Pluses, as they call them.
Since the Supreme Court decided
the Supreme Court decided you couldn't use race at all,
and any admissions decisions.
Right. So the new research is published by Class Action. They are an advocacy
but let me say this
organization.
before you get in that, Myron.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
It's interesting. The Supreme Court says, race can't be used in any way, any fashion when you're making admissions decisions. However, they left intact legacy decisions. In other words, if your mom or dad or grandparent or somebody went to this prestigious institution or whatever, that's okay. You can use that as a qualifying factor. And of course, we know that automatically disadvantages minorities.
That's right.
Because they don't have that legacy, that lineage.
Right, because we were legally barred from going to
But the Supreme Court's okay with that. That's
or
cool.
illegally barred. Either way, we couldn't go.
Yeah, that's but with the race, no, you can't do that. Yeah.
So Class Action, they're a higher education advocacy organization. They did the research. They analyzed, just looking at data from 3,200 colleges representing over 3 million college freshmen. So what they found in these elite institutions, your Harvards and whatnot, underrepresented minority freshmen declined 7% just from 2023 to 2024, including a 16.3% drop in black students.
Oh, yeah.
And a 1.8% decline in Hispanic students. The fall class of 2024 was the first admitted after the Supreme Court's decision.
And it's having a drastic impact right away.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not. A lot of times with decisions like this, you can tell over time the impact that it's had. But this is right out the gate.
Right, and keep in mind,
impact.
this is before even the Trump administration came in with this anti-DEI stuff, which also affects
going to have
that.
add on top of it. Yes.
Now, but there's an interesting side effect, and decisions have what they call these cascading effects. What they're finding is that a lot of state institutions, particularly state flagship institutions, like your NC States or Carolinas, University of Mississippi, the flagship schools.
East Carolinas.
The land grant institutions.
Well, land grant and other schools, right? But they have seen a boost in their enrollments. And from these, they believe, and this is the theory, I don't know if this has been conclusively found, but they believe a lot of these top performing black and other minority students who could not get into necessarily their first choice school, which might be an Ivy League or Ivy League plus, they are getting into what they call, for lack of a better term, their fallback school. And a lot of times these are these state schools. So you're starting to see a boost in those schools. They cite specifically University of Michigan, University of Mississippi, these students that, were not otherwise might be in the Ivy League or someplace like that are staying home. Right. So that's kind of
so that's helping the home states a lot.
Effect, right?
That's helping the home states a lot as far as some of these top students. But it's a shame though, because it's a lot of these students were willing. The university was actually, they worked hard. They had offices set up, to promote diversity and inclusion, that kind of thing, because they thought and they believed that having a more diverse student body was better for the institution. But now, as you said, Myron, with even the latest things from the Trump administration, even that has come down on top of the Supreme Court saying you can't use race at all in admissions, that, they're getting rid of all the DEI, diversity, all these programs that were targeted towards trying to make it have these colleges and have a more diverse student body.
Yes, they interviewed Dr. Murphy, who is this is his research that looked into this, and he said the career outcomes. You talk about these cascading effects. The career outcomes will not be significantly different, he says, for a student who went to Yale versus one who went to Michigan. But what could happen, the cascade could go further, and these top performing students who are now attending Michigan might displace other students who would have gotten to Michigan, and then they have to go to what is described as less selective institutions.
So he said that their career opportunities are not going to be any worse if they go to Michigan instead of Yale?
I think that's a questionable statement, but that's what he believes.
No, that's not questionable. That's wrong.
Yeah, it's questionable.
That's wrong. There's a reason why people want to go to Yale. There's a reason why they were trying to get in there in the first place.
Right.
And so, I mean, if you have graduated from Yale, I mean, let's look at let's look at the presidents of the United States. Yeah. They all come from Ivy League schools.
Even Trump.
Right. Harvard.
Penn
Yale,
for him. Yeah.
On and on.
The Supreme Court, which made this decision.
They also come from Ivy League schools.
All of them. So there was one who came from a public school. He's retired now.
No, the one that
the current one now is from a public school.
The Amy Barrett. Amy Barrett.
Amy Coney Barrett. That's right. She is. That's right.
She's not Ivy League.
That's right.
But that's unusual.
That's unusual.
That's unusual. Right.
Yeah. And many of them went specifically to Yale Law. So it really depends. I don't think that statement can be taken at face value, but it really depends on what your field is.
Right.
I mean,
which is that's the same thing Miles was saying. Because nobody in the family was very happy about him trying to go to New York. We said, but
nobody in the family.
No, nobody in the family. But
meaning his parents.
I was perfectly fine with him going to Columbia.
I wasn't consulting on that. No one consulted me.
Go ahead.
I thought, so you mean your mom and dad? But go ahead, let me get you.
But anyway, so he had that mindset that this going to an Ivy League and going to Columbia is a way for his contacts and meeting people in places that's
what it's about.
Right, that's what it's more about. Yeah. And he said, plus they had a great engineering school, so he was excited when he got in. We were excited for him, but it's
You don't sound so excited. You sound the opposite.
I'm excited.
You sound the opposite of excited.
No.
Well, I mean, if you're going to people go to those schools, those type things because they want to run the world.
That's right. That's right.
That's what they want to do.
Yeah,
they,
that's
they
correct.
want, they want to
Right.
be. They
That's
want to
correct.
be in charge of things that are going to make a difference in people, impactful. Especially when you talk about political, you
Right.
talk about law, you talk about those type fields.
Just
And
in general, yeah.
Just in general. I
yeah.
mean, you got that Yale law degree, Harvard, those type things.
Yeah.
I mean, I love East Carolina, but that's
Right.
not the same thing as saying when someone went somewhere else. So someone said it's not going to open a door for
They
you.
give you- people
It's going to
give-
open a door for you that
Right.
maybe another university would not do.
Yeah.
People tend to give them more when you listen to the news, and when they go to consultants and people they want to. It's typically folks from those kinds of institutions.
Yeah.
You know, we've had research from this place, or you know, got a professor from this place. It's usually those type of institutions.
It kind of depends. I've seen that across the board. A lot of the state flagship schools, they do a lot of research.
They do.
You know, so I've seen it. But yeah, in terms of if you talk about the generic statement or the broad statement, rule the world. Yeah, it really is.
And so what we're saying,
it really does. A lot of it comes through the Ivy League
and so we're saying a large percentage of people
and similar institutions.
A large percentage of people who could go to them universities, minorities, and could be in those positions to quote unquote rule the world, or quote unquote go into the Supreme Court or presidency or wherever else they want to go into, that they're being closed out of those positions and those opportunities.
Yeah.
And so so the larger effect. So despite what this guy is saying, it's not going to hurt. It's going to hurt down the road.
Can we envision a Barack Obama presidency where he went to state schools versus Harvard undergrad in law?
Right. Well, he went to Columbia undergrad.
Columbia undergrad,
Because
then
that's what
Harvard
Miles
Law,
loved to
right.
see his picture when we went up to visit. He's hanging down from the rafters of
Yeah,
many
he
other
started
folks.
off on some what was it, Pepperdine, some West Coast.
So he went,
school.
right. He went to
Then he
Columbia his last 2 years.
Right.
Then he went to Harvard Law.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But let's say he had gone East Carolina undergrad.
Oh well, he probably would have made it then. East Carolina. I don't know about the rest of them. Let's start with Carolina. I have like the state. I don't know.
Campbell Law School.
Nah. It's highly unlikely. It's highly
Again,
unlikely
it gets
at
you-
this point.
it gets a
but
door-
It could, but in the future,
It gets a door open to you that you might not would have open otherwise. That's the bottom line. You're going to meet people. He met people at Harvard that that can help him politically. Could have helped him in various other ways. Whereas in the other university, he just might not have met those.
Just might not have met
Right.
those people.
Now, to answer your question though, but in today's climate, I can't see a Barack Obama being president. Period. Not in today's climate. Not right now.
I don't know. I've stopped making predictions like that because of two reasons. One,
Barack and Trump.
I never thought either one of them would be elected,
Right.
just for different reasons. Completely different reasons.
Right.
And lo and behold,
They both made it.
And I've heard people say, oh, we won't have a woman president for 15, 20. I don't know. It could be the next one. We could have a woman president the very next time. You just don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
Yeah.
It's really hard to say these days. Anything's on the table these days.
Anything.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, good. I'm glad your guys are still optimistic.
That's both the hope and the fear. You can argue.
Right. We got to get out of here. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I am Marshall Pitts.
Module Pitts.
I'm Myron Pitts.
And we are
MP3.
Have a wonderful day, everybody.
WIDU1600.com. We are WIDU Fayetteville. We do radio.